We hope you had an amazing holiday and that 2020 finds you healthy, happy, and prosperous.
In this video, we're going to show you how we make flatbread pizza in our oven. Hey, well, tonight we're going to have some pizza, and we make it just using some flatbread, some naan bread or any kind of flatbread. But one thing that we do that makes it easier to cook it is in our oven, and we just use our oven in the camper. We have started using a pizza stone, and we use that to cook on, and we use it when we cook other things too, because it helps to keep the bottoms from burning. But we're going to cook directly on this pizza stone. Like I said, we were using some naan bread. You can buy it. Actually, you find it. One of the best place to buy it is at Aldi's. But here, this is a package of 4, and we'll probably make 2 tonight. And this is more than plenty for both of us. Well, actually, I like to make 3 sometimes and eat 2 myself. But this is typically doing. We usually make one with a sauce, and one that's more of with a pesto and a little more, not traditional, but more, I guess you'd call it like an organic or something pizza. And everything I'm doing is just what we do, but man, you can just get really creative with these. So on the one with the sauce, the first thing I usually do is I like to put just a touch of olive oil on it. And that is olive oil, that's not beer. We just, we found these growlers, and with this type of top, we have less spillage when we're traveling. Another thing I like to do, because it seems like for me, pizzas never have enough seasoning. So I always like to season it. And this one I'm going to use, I like to put the seasoning down right into the olive oil. And I usually use just some oregano and basil, or you can just use an Italian seasoning mix or whatever you like. The reason I'm not putting olive oil on the other one is I'm going to make it a pesto base, and there's plenty of oil in the pesto. So, and you know, pesto being a lot of basil, I really don't need too much more. So this one just gets a nice coating of, I get that pesto all over, and it's got plenty of oil in it. And as you can see, I really don't have any measurements on any of this. So that's how the base starts. But before I even started, I turned the oven on, and I shoot for around 400, 450, and you really want to let that pizza stone or that stone heat up so that it's kind of hot when you put it in. So you might have to let it run 15, 20 minutes. 400, 450, right in that range is plenty hot enough. So the first one I'm going to make now is I'm going to make one with a little pizza sauce. And we just buy just generic pizza sauce. And we've had this one for a little while. So I've got my olive oil and some extra seasoning in. And then I just like you're making a pizza. What I like about it is I can get the amount of cheese or sauce I like. To me, a lot of places put hardly any sauce or seasoning and figure they can make a great pizza just by adding a ton of cheese. And it turns in just to me, just a piece of cheesy bread. So I like a little extra sauce that has some flavor. And we just use the canned stuff. I mean, if you want to make your own, that is great. But living in the camper, and especially when we're boondocking and stuff, we try to keep it as simple and not dirty as many things as we can. Now from here, you can go with any kind of meat. We usually use, we get sometime we'll have some Italian salami that we've been eating, whatever. But here we have a little package of some dried salami. You can use pepperoni. But we'll throw some of this on there. I'm going to kind of make this a half and half one. We had So let's just go like that. Also, this is some ground. It's actually, you could use some, I would use normally an Italian sausage, but this is some sausage that we had browned up before for something else, and we just keep it in the refrigerator. That's the one. We kind of like to, we go a little different route. What I've liked to use sometimes is some sun-dried tomatoes. And that's another reason I don't usually put olive oil on there, because some of these ingredients have a bunch of oil in them. So we'll throw a few sun-dried tomatoes on it, as you can see. And you can see all the oil coming out. I tried not to get all, drain a little bit of the oil. So we have sun-dried tomatoes. Sometimes we use roasted red peppers. I like roasted red peppers on this one sometimes too. But this one's going to be pestos and sun-dried tomatoes. You can see all that oil. A lot of good oil. So we have some quartered marinated artichoke hearts. So sometimes you may need to cut these down a little bit. In fact, I think I will, because they're a little big. So I have a cutting board. And as you can see, sometimes space is a challenge. So we'll throw a few of these and a few spots on here. There we go. You got a few of that on there. Then for cheese, we like mozzarella cheese, and we like to find the not just shredded or something, but some fresh mozzarella. And then we'll just cut it up into chunks. And like I said, I like the cheese like this better. It's just not drowned in the cheese. You know, you get the flavor of the meats and the sauce and the seasonings, and not just a big gob of cheese in your mouth every time you eat it. You know, and then put as much or as little as you want on there. And sometimes you can find little mozzarella cheese balls, and those work great. Cut them in half and put them on there. Okay. Now you can also add some like Parmesan or Romano cheese if you want to add a little. I'm going to add just a little bit, just to give it a little more of a different kind of flavor, but not too much. Okay, so there's our pizzas. They're all ready to go. So now we're going to wait for the oven to get a little hotter, and we'll pop them in there. So now we have the pizzas ready, and the oven is preheated. We've set it at about 400. So now I'm just going to put them in there. And you can see our pizza stones right here. And now this is the part you need to be really careful. And I set it directly onto the pizza stone. So we've got them in there, and we'll just let them cook. We'll kind of give you a time estimate in a second, but normally I just look, and when I start seeing the cheese starting to bubble a little and melted real nice, check the bottom and make sure it's not burning. I pull them out. You know, it's probably going to be 10 to 15 minutes. We'll give it a time right here and see how long it takes. Okay, so we've put the pizza in, and it's been about 12 minutes now. So we're going to take them out. Again, be careful. And there you go. Turn the oven off. But here we have our pizzas, and you can see it's not too bad on the bottom. It's the right crispiness. We'll let them set and cool for a second, and then we'll cut them up. Okay, so we've let them cool a minute or two before we cut it. I usually just like to cut it on this kind of bread right down the middle. Whoops, stay on there. A couple times across this way. And then we usually kind of both share a little. Woo-hoo. And there's supper tonight. So, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit the little subscribe button. And also hit the bell so you can be notified when we put some out. We are going to try to send out some more videos on the foods that we cook, and especially when we're boondocking, and how we try to minimize the number of dirty plates and pots and pans. So, we're going to go have pizza and enjoy our evening. And hope you all have something to eat at your house.